Hey there YouTube friends, and welcome back to the Bikini Bottom Water Park. It's been a little while, but today we are back in Jellyfish Fields adding a splash pad using some amazing workshop items. We're also going to be cleaning up and detailing the area, adding another stall or two, as well as adding the next major iconic build in the park. Yes, that's right, it's time for Sandy's Tree Dome. So if you're excited, hit that like button. I'm maskedbandit and I am so glad you are here. Let's take a look at what's going on. Alright, so it's been a while since we've been in this project, and it's been a while since Planet Coaster 2 has been on the channel. Thank you so much for your patience. Just a reminder, no project is ever canceled unless I come out and say it is. Sometimes life gets in the way, sometimes inspiration ceases to hit, and sometimes we just need to take a break, and that's what I've been doing, playing some other games, namely Civilization, a little bit of City Skylines, but man, that dumpster fire of a game. Anyway, excited to be back here and show you not as much. Progress is a little slow today. We're having a hard time coming up with some fun ideas for Jellyfish Fields, and actually the best thing for me was to break out of it and go do something else. But what I decided is, based on your feedback, I do think we need the queen jellyfish here, the one that zaps the crap out of Kevin Cucumber. So on our lazy river, we're not going to do a ton with this episode, but this is where we're gonna see her. And all I did was, I think it's 2 jellyfish that I have added, and then I've got King Coaster. I've scaled up the jellyfish and I put King Coaster in to give her the crown. So I think it's really silly, but I like it a lot. I think it's pretty funny, so I'm alright with it. It's kind of gelatinous and blobby, but that's alright. I did try making a Kevin Cucumber, and oh my gosh, it was atrocious. Those of you who can do things with art shapes, you have my absolute respect. So yeah, if you remember, this is where we left it off. We have our rave tunnel down in there, and we have our Alaskan bullworm here, but I did notice there's some terrain issues here we're going to need to clean up so that, you know, looks okay. I did go ahead and build some accoutrements for the Jellyfish Fields, his safety first glasses and his jellyfish net. I was planning to use this as iconography for a stall, but I think I find a better use for it in the later bit in the episode. So let's take a look. Today's big idea is using this splash pad, and it's one of those things, the reason this has taken so long was because this kind of overwhelmed me. So what I decided to do was to look on the workshop. I know there are some amazing splash pad sets on the workshop, so I went and I curated some, and I decided to add them to our build here. So let's take a look at some amazing workshop items that are helping this episode of the Bikini Bottom Water Park come to life. One little addition before we add our splash pad additions. I did build an inflatable stall right next to the entrance of our lazy river in an effort to try and get them to buy some inflatables, and we named it after Bubble Buddy. I had some friends on Bro Nation try and create a Bubble Buddy little character, but it was really difficult, so I'm just going to name a stall after him and use the colors of Bubble Buddy here. So we have Bubble Buddy's Inflatable Emporium, which to me makes tons and tons of sense. Lovely, lovely stuff here. Real simple, covered, just shed basically. I figured they'd drag them out every day, probably on a cart, and set up here before the park opens every day. So yeah, this is just a little something came together pretty quickly. You can tell the inspiration is not flowing when the best I got is this. And this has sat here for a hot minute. So like I said, just kind of hit a wall with Planet Coaster 2. So it's taken me a bit, but yeah, I'm excited to show you what becomes of our splash pad here. So I decided to drop into first person for this part of the update here because I've actually done quite a bit of work. I did hit that inspiration. So we added some extra restrooms here, and this also helps to kind of block Jellyfish Fields. I kind of wanted to make sure that they felt like 2 separate areas of the park. And that's also what this wall of foliage is doing here. You can see that, oh man, it really does a good job of hiding that Alaskan bullworm. Like you could just see him poking out. Added some foliage and stuff like that, and added an extra way across, and we'll take a look at that in a little bit. We'll come at it from a different direction. But I wanted to make sure there were different ways to get in to Jellyfish Fields. And now as we have our big reveal, so the idea is, if you're coming this way, right, because this is the main entrance, if you're coming down here past the Krusty Krab and everything, this area will open up to you. And oh, Jellyfish Fields. I don't know if I want to do something with this planter. In the comments below, what should we do with this planter? I do like that it's open. That way we can see into Jellyfish Fields. But I'm not sure. It's a little too big. I might just make it a little smaller, maybe. You tell me, what should we do to make this planter make more, or this open green space make more sense? It is Jellyfish Field, so I'm all right with it being open. But yeah, tell me what you think. So here we are. Look at this. I'm very happy with this. We have our lovely Jellyfish Field sign, and it is framing. You can see we are framing here the Alaskan bullworm. We have our jellyfish everywhere, and this lovely arch. And a lot of the imagery, the art for Jellyfish Fields, there are these dark purple arches, so I wanted to go ahead and include that. And I also created these cute little custom lights here using some rocks and that one resort lamp to look like a piece to look like a flower, and I think it looks really, really cute. So you can see here our Jellyfish Fields. We can go down into the lazy river, we can walk along this way, and you can see this bright, colorful splash pad, which to me is absolutely something that would fit right at home here. So let's get out of first person actually and take a look at this and look at the awesome creations, the awesome workshop items that I used. This cute little tree is called Splash Pad Tree by Quebs, and here is the code and the workshop page for this one. Also using the Coral Pool Splash Set by Ms. Baby Blue. Here is the workshop item for this one, so that you can download it and include it in your projects. There's these cute flower splash pad sprayers by Sajari. Lovely little item. I downloaded this, but I don't think I used it in the build, and this is the Children's Water Playground by Mayday Everyday. Lovely playground that looks great in a little splash pad. I do want to mention that I use the inflatable rings rack for the Bubble Buddy inflatable stall, and this is by Ben. I also found an awesome splash pad dump bucket by Sajari as well. And the big ticket item is Waterpark Kids Zone by Sam K101. Oh my goodness, this thing is incredible. So I just wanted to be honest and open and make sure that everyone knows exactly what I'm using so that you don't think I'm building it myself, and make sure that the people who have created these awesome things are getting the credit they deserve, and hopefully you can use these in your projects too. So here's that splash pad. This was the main stuff. Now what I did do is I obviously didn't just plop this in. I took the central playground part here and the singing eels, which is an animatronic, but they doctored it up. And I went ahead and I threw it into our little splash pad here. So we have our main play structure. I spammed some of the pipes around. We do have our eels, and I did set them to sing, so it is fun when they sing. And then I used a bunch of the coral workshop items over here, a couple of the trees, and I just kind of dolled it all up and made it fit in and made it look pretty. And I'm really, really, really pleased with it. Obviously, this would not have come together without our awesome workshop, without the awesome creators on the workshop. And there's some amazing effects here, like this splashdown is so good on this set. And I think the combinations of all of these add so much to the Bikini Bottom vibes. I love the bright colors. It fits in exactly what we're trying to do here. And you can see I've taken the glasses and the net, and we have SpongeBob actively jellyfishing in Jellyfish Fields. You can't have it. And I threw another Gary in. I don't know. I think that's okay, right? I think another Gary here is good. But yeah, I think this is just too cute. And then we notice, hopefully you notice, we have a blue jellyfish. That is blue from the jelly, the jellyfish jelly where Mr. Krabs, gets all the jelly from the jellyfishes to use for Krabby Patties. So that's our little Easter egg there as well. And you can see how I've kind of really fleshed the area out here. And that to me is where I'm shining. I'm letting these workshop items sing by making sure I put them in a scenario where they can look their absolute best. So we have some picnic areas over here with some cover, all, the color, Squidward, SpongeBob, and Patrick colored. And we have some lounge chairs here so you can sit and watch while your kids play. I do have intentions of probably putting a snack shop or something over here somewhere. But yeah, this is our lovely little splash pad with all the reeds and all the grasses. You'll notice there aren't many tall trees in this area at all. And this area also backs up into the rave tunnel. So it just creates this cozy little space, very bright, very in your face, but I don't know, I think it's really cute. And I love all the little jellyfish floating around. This area is really starting to come together. I continue to work on the rocks here. We added the bridge. I made sure that this bridge looked and felt safe with 2 layers of protection. So if you were to jump into that or throw something over, it would not go into the water, hopefully. But yeah, I think this is looking really nice. And we come through here and you can see this is that way back that I was talking about where it's a little hidden. But I think this is turning out. The little variations in height, I think, are doing a lot of heavy lifting to make this look quite nice. And you can see, you can remember our nature pants, food and drink. I learned something. I didn't realize that So Delightful only sells diet sodas. I did not realize that until just so recently. I did fix the paths here, or the terrain here, so now it dumps properly into the pool. So that's great. And now and at this point I was like, well, I want to do something different now. And I thought, well, what better thing to do than maybe to build Sandy's tree dome. I figured we got to see if it's even possible with the in-game glass that we have not being perfectly tileable. And obviously you can, while scalable, it's only scalable, you know, in every direction. You can't scale different lengths and stuff. I was a little nervous, so I want to take you through the process of building Sandy's tree dome. So here is attempt number 1, and it is kind of meh. It's very thick, these. Well, I realized that, wait, Sandy's tree dome doesn't have any framework. How am I going to do this? I thought long and hard about it, and I realized that I have to in some capacity to hide the seams, because the issue we're going to run into with this is as we crawl up the edge here, the seams, this line here, when creating this wedge, hides all those yucky rough edges. That's kind of the whole point. And then with the overlapping of the glass, I was like, oh no, is this really what it's gonna be? And I started to get really disheartened, and I was like, I don't know, I have to sit on it. And I actually thought about it for a while before continuing. And I was like, I don't know. First of all, the tree is super huge, and like when you see it from here, it's so big. I know this is kind of a fantastical park, but this is so big. So I was like, for a first attempt, I want to show you a rough draft that was there for a proof of concept that actually made me question whether or not we could do the tree dome. I decided to give it one more go where I was going to use support pieces scaled way down to make them as invisible as possible. I'm just going to kind of have to live with some overlap on the glass. There's really not much we can do about it. It is kind of a pain that the glass does this. I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah, it is what it is though. So I have a tutorial on how to do this. If you want to know how to make domed or rounded structures, you can check out that video where we build a little snack stall. It's the exact same process. This is just scaled up, you know, 10 times or whatever. But let's take a look at it further on once I wrap my head around how to best approach this massive task. It's so dumb. My computer, you can see how slow my computer does not like this structure at all. But here it is. This is our tree dome. I'm actually okay with it. I think it became something more than I thought it was going to be. The overlap when it's in situation like this really doesn't bother me, but what does bother me is it's almost 8,000 pieces. It has to be that large though. Like in order for it to look right, it has to be that big. And arguably there would be something in the tree that you could go do, so it has to be kind of large. We're going to suspend our disbelief here for a little bit because I mean it is at the end of the day a cartoon water park. Is it huge? Of course it is. But this is where we are at. You can see right here, I've carved out this chunk. This is going to be our airlock that is in how you get in and out of the tree dome. It's so dumb. It's so dumb, but I really like it. I thought about using some Western doors, but the arch door is just perfect. It sticks out a little bit too much, but I'm okay with it. What's funny is how empty the tree dome really is. It's got a picnic bench and it's got a hamster wheel. That's really all it's got in there. And It's so silly, but I think we're going to do that. I might add more. I'm not sure. Like, I always thought this was going to be some sort of barbecue restaurant, so maybe I'll try to make it into a barbecue restaurant. But for the end of this episode, I just wanted to get it to look like the show. So let's jump ahead and look at the final Sandy's treehouse and then take a look at the park as it currently stands today. I think with the sand texture, it looks a lot better. It looks so much more like the tree dome now. Here we go. Let's take a look inside. We're going to go through our airlock here. There we go. All the water would come down. In we go. Here is Sandy's tree dome. I went ahead and I dressed up I'm just using the font periods to create a checkerboard tablecloth that is on her picnic table. I have a giant hamster wheel. It is a decent size for peeps. I mean, it is pretty big, but it kind of needs to be. Otherwise, it just looks ridiculous. But yeah, this is like realizing how basic the tree dome is. It was a beast to make the dome. Oh, I never showed you the top. I really like how I did the top. Obviously not accurate to the show, but I think that's just really kind of pretty. I don't know. I think it's cool. So it's so stupid. Let's be honest. This is so dumb. But I mean, isn't that the point of a SpongeBob park? So here we are. Here is my tree dome in its all of its tree dome glory. That is, I think, pretty on point, if I'm going to be honest with you. And then here it is, a look at it in comparison. So it is very large, but I don't think it'll be too bad. I think we'll be able to hide it. I'm not sure where we're going to put it. Maybe we'll put it over here, and this will just be like the end. I'm not quite sure. I know we have other things in mind, like we have a rock bottom that needs to happen, and we need to do a glove world that needs to happen. The tree dome probably needs to be close to Jellyfish Fields. Maybe we'll move it over here as a focal point, or maybe move it over here behind the Bikini Bottom. Obviously, this is just my build area, but yeah, you can see we've still got a lot of cleanup to do here in Jellyfish Fields, and I'd probably want to add another activity to do in Jellyfish Fields, or at least another food option. Maybe we'll have the barbecue. Yeah, I think the tree dome needs to be part of Jellyfish Fields as a way to have another food option in here. So anyway, this is where we are at. I know it's kind of an all over the place, doesn't feel like a lot's been done, but this took a lot longer than you would imagine. It's a lot of rock plopping, a lot of landscaping, and a lot of just getting motivated, you know? So, but now I'm a little more excited now that this is done. This gives me something to work on as I continue to fill in the rocks and all that and do these little stalls and things like that. I think the issue is all of these big items here were just so fun to build because it's just that wink and a nod. And then it kind of ran out here in Jellyfish Fields because there's just not as many iconic things. And so I kind of lost steam. But having the tree dome in now is really fun, and we'll continue to develop. I'm rambling, and that means it's time for me to say goodbye. So goodbye. With all that being said, have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever, and I will see all of you for the next episode of the Bikini Bottom Water Park. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.